You're probably watching this video on Monday or Tuesday of the first week of classes, so hopefully by now you've already gone in and done your class introduction, and you've already started to read about our assignment for the first week, Citizen Potters, this idea that's been put forth by the ceramic artist Ayumi Hore. That writing assignment is due by midnight on Sunday of this first week. And I am really looking forward to working with clay with you guys starting on week 2. When you go to Clark College to pick up your clay, you're also going to pick up 12 by 12 plywood boards. I'm going to work on this to help protect my table space. If you want something even a little larger, a good substitute would be to take an empty cereal or a cracker box. You don't want to work on a surface made of plastic or metal or glass because the clay will stick to that and it won't release. I mentioned on the list of tools that you should have a wooden spoon, a kitchen spoon. And some of the things that are going to be most helpful will be a kitchen fork and a spoon and a knife. I'm using a serrated steak knife. I like it has a kind of a sharper edge to it, but you could also just use a butter knife. One tool that will be very helpful is a section of dental floss. I've taken it and wrapped it around 2 small little pencils, and then I went around the tie around here with some masking tape. I think a paper clip will be a great clay working tool for people this term. It's got all these little curves that are already in it that I could use for impressions into the clay. I can make different shapes out of it. I could use the tips as a scoring tool, and I could even make a tighter bend in it than how it usually comes. Really skinny this up. And I could make a small carving tool, that will let me carve into the clay. I might use this to be able to hollow out some small areas in the clay. I'm not sure yet, but I'm definitely going to find a use for a tool like this. Another tool that I suggested you have is a rubber spatula, but in my house we only have one rubber spatula, so I don't want to use this for clay working. Instead, I am substituting a cut shape out of a plastic lid. This is the lid from a feta cheese container, and I cut the plastic on kind of a broad curve here. These tools are trying to mimic this, which is called a rib. And a rib, called that because of the rib-like shape of the curved edge. Ribs come in lots of different shapes and sizes for ceramics and different materials. This is a rubber rib. They also come in wood and metal and silicone and different materials. And they're used for generally shaping and smoothing the clay. I went afterwards just with a little bit of sandpaper because I wasn't able to cut it totally smooth. Some unexpected sources for paintbrushes I found in my home were a brush that we had been using in the kitchen as kind of like a pastry brush. So I can definitely use this. I also realized that I had some hardware store painting brushes, really inexpensive. And this is a great size. These are both a great size for working on your clay projects this term. I also realized I had an old makeup brush that, although this is kind of small, I will probably appreciate having a variety of size brushes, and this is going to work great. And some of you guys may have makeup brushes, or other people in your household may have makeup brushes that you could use that would come in a variety of sizes. So if I only had these 3 brushes, I would be doing really well in terms of brushes. The kinds of brushes I usually have in the ceramic studio, though, are examples like this. So if you had to go and buy some brushes, I'm sure you could find examples like this on Amazon or from a bunch of different online sources. I'm looking for brushes that are about this size, that are soft. I usually like ones that have rounded tips on them, and we're going to use these for glazing and doing other things on the surface of our projects with. I'm just going to use a plastic dish for water to have on hand and a small sponge. You could just as easily use a chunk of old foam like this. Now I want to talk about how to actually get the clay and glaze material that you're going to need. So you have to start by going to the Clark College Bookstore website, which is clarkbookstore.com. There's a box that says textbooks. It's a pretty large box. You need to click on that box that says textbooks. Once you do, you will see 4 drop-down questions to answer. The first one says select a term. We're going to select spring 2020. The second question is select a department, and you want to choose art department. Next, select a course. This course is 180. And then the last question says select a section. And you can click on anything that says Lisa Conway because both my classes have the same list of materials. So I have my 4 questions answered. I click on that, it will prompt me to click on another blue box that says get your books. And I'm going to click on that. And then I see the list of materials that are for this class. And the one I'm really interested in getting here is the one on the very bottom that says clay ticket, $11. That's what you need to purchase because I want to get 1 bag of clay for $11. And then I have to click anywhere outside of that quantity box. And once I do, I'll see the big blue continue box highlight at the bottom of the page. And I'm going to click on continue. That will take me to the next page, which will allow me to click on checkout, making sure that I have 1 bag of clay selected for $11. After you get to checkout, it's gonna ask you to sign in or create an account if you haven't already done that through the bookstore. Then the bookstore is gonna send you 2 separate emails. The first one is just gonna be an order confirmation, and that is not the email that we need. We need the second email. Attached to the second email is gonna be a copy of your receipt. And that's the email attachment that we need you to forward to our department technician, Ian Beckett. When you send him that receipt, we need you to also give him 2 pieces of information. Tell Ian if you want red clay versus white clay, and also tell Ian when you're available to come in and pick up your clay. Most people get the white clay. It's a little easier to work with. It's a little simpler to guess the glaze colors on top of a white background. I personally feel like the red clay is prettier. I think it's more interesting. The red clay can stain your clothes a little bit more, but I think it gives great results. It's totally your choice, and there's a link with more information about the differences in our Canvas page. If you were blind to the color difference, you would not notice any handling properties different between the red and white at all. They perform the same. So it's totally your choice. The times when Ian is available to make pickup appointments are from Monday to Thursday between 8 and 3. Give Ian a range of times and days even when you could come in and pick it up. It'll make it a lot easier for him to schedule individual appointments for people. Ian is going to give you a 20-minute appointment window when you can come in and pick up your materials. Please try and come in the middle of your appointment window if you can, because we're obviously trying to avoid people running into each other. When you come in to pick up your materials, they are going to be left for you on big metal carts outside the main entrance doors to the Frost Art Center on campus. So the Frost Art Center is on the west side of campus, and the main entrance doors face Fort Vancouver Way. It's off of the Red 2 parking lot. Outside the main entrance doors, there's going to be a big metal cart, and you should see your bag of clay on the cart labeled with your name on it. Please take your clay off of the cart. Try to avoid touching the cart itself. Try to avoid, if you see anyone else's bag of clay there, try and avoid touching other stuff. Don't come into the art building. Your materials will be left outside for you. You shouldn't go into any of the buildings on campus when you come to get your clay. But also on the cart are going to be cups of glaze for you. We're supplying those with the lab fee money that you paid for this class when you paid your tuition for this class. So you're going to pick up your glaze, your cups of glaze at the same time. I suggest when you go in that you bring a grocery bag, a shopping bag, or a small, medium-sized cardboard box with you, because you're going to pick up about 13 plastic to-go cups of glaze material. Your glazes are going to be left out for you on the cart next to your bag of clay. The glazes themselves are going to come in 4-ounce cups, plastic cups with lids on them. And there's going to be 9 4-ounce cups of glaze. There's also going to be smaller 1-ounce cups. Again, plastic cups with lids on them, smaller 1-ounce cups of underglaze material. So you're going to have 9 cups of glaze, 4 smaller cups of underglaze. You're going to have your bag of clay, and you're also going to have your 12-inch square piece of plywood. All these materials are going to be left out for you on carts outside of the main entrance doors to the Frost Art Center on campus. Please try and have your materials by Thursday, April 23rd at the latest. In order to get them by Thursday, I think you're going to need to have your receipt from the bookstore and to have emailed Ian requesting an appointment time by Wednesday, April 22nd. So if you guys could jump on that as soon as possible, it'll make the whole rest of the term go a little smoother. You don't have to wait until Wednesday, April 22nd to start the process though. You can start the process right now. Go to the bookstore now if you can and purchase that bag of clay and get your receipt for them, and you can send that to Ian starting now. He's going to be available for appointment windows to pick up your materials as early as Tuesday, April 14th. So as many of you jump on that ahead of time, it can help prevent a bunch up of trying to schedule all the appointment slots at the end. The last thing I want to say is remember to join me for Zoom office hours on Wednesday and Thursday this week from 9 to 10 each day. I'll be sending you an email reminder on Tuesday, but I would love to see some of your faces. I would love to see all of your faces during these office hours. And I hope that you guys will get a lot out of seeing each other also. I'll be working with Clay on those days, and I would love to see anything else that you're working on, or see you with your pets in the background, or just see your faces. It would be really great to make that connection.